Hello, how are you? I'm so excited about this. We've been planning it for a long time. It's a product that we're calling Across the Divide. And basically it's because we've realized that there's so many issues and concepts that kind of define us as who we are. And they're based on divisions from gender to age to culture to religion. The very first one we're doing is he said, she said. And this is really controversial because when we're viewing a topic from a female perspective, it's very different from when they're viewing it from a male perspective. So my husband and I are going to do regular discussions about topics. What I'd like you to do is, if you have a topic, please feel free to put it in the chat. We're going to ask you to subscribe to the Across the Divide station and ring the bell so when every new one comes out, you'll know. This first one, let me read it out to you. Let me read the scenario, and it will always start with you hearing the scenario. The scenario for this is very interesting, but it's also very common. I'm just going to read it. And it's in our April edition of the Christian Herald. It says, a husband and wife have joint finances, which was fine when they first got married because they didn't have much money to spend in the first place. As the years went by, they began to progress in their respective careers, and what happened was the husband started to earn a lot more money than the wife. The wife had to now ask permission to spend money, and every little thing became oppressive for her. Her resentment grew because she knew that all her hard-earned money was going into the common pot, yet she didn't have access to it. So what happened was she now started what we now call a side hustle. And her side hustle became a very lucrative business for her. And what she decided to do was, her regular income from her salary went into the common pot, but her side hustle income went into a separate account. This became a problem. The husband resented it, the wife resented it. This is where our discussion starts. What does a man think about this kind of situation? What does a woman think about this kind of situation? And can there be a meeting of the minds? So I'm going to introduce you to my better half, Dr. Ella said Deborah. We've been married, look at the camera. We've been married for 43 years now. And so we have a lot of things that we've discussed, and we have a lot of things that we know that we agree on, but we also have a lot of things that we know we disagree on. So, what do you think about this situation? You've got a man and a woman. The woman, for years, was obedient, was submissive as far as the finances were concerned. She would only spend money that she was allowed to spend. And then she starts this side hustle, and the side hustle starts to blossom and grow, and she's got a lot of money coming in. So what she's doing is that she's still handing over her paycheck from her regular job to her husband for the common pot. But the things from the side hustle, she's putting aside. And she's unilaterally deciding how she wants to spend it. So what do you think?
I'm wondering what the purpose of that separate fund is. I think it's difficult to generalize in situations like this because each marriage, each relationship is unique because there are related circumstances that a lot of times we don't know. To me, I think the side hustle money really should be part of the big pot, and equal access should be created to the pots. And there's usually this generalization that it's the man who manages the pot. I don't think so. I think the person who can better manage it, it doesn't have to be the man. If the woman is the better manager of the finance, so be it. That's just my take on it.
Oh, the problem with this scenario though is that that was how it was. The man was managing the money, and he had total control on how the money was being spent. And that was where the resentment was coming. She began to feel all her money was going into this account, but she had no control on how to spend the money. And that's why she started. And quite honestly, this scenario, the woman didn't start the side hustle to create a separate income. She just wanted something that she could spend without having to ask permission.
Okay. I think the flaw in that was way before the side hustle even started.
Right.
Because I think if the woman had equal access to that finance from the beginning, then the issue of the side hustle money wouldn't even come in. So that's.
But the problem is, this is something that happens in many families. A lot of times, one person doesn't realize that they are being oppressive, that they are being controlling. They don't realize it. They don't see it because they're not the one that's experiencing it. For this situation, this circumstance, let's talk about it from a female perspective. And I totally agree with you about that. There should have been a better structure,
system or formula to do this.
But there wasn't. There should have been, but there wasn't. So what the woman started doing, let's say she started doing something like selling cosmetics, because when she was selling the cosmetics, the money that was coming in was maybe less than $20-30 a week. So it wasn't a problem for the man at the time because it was negligible. It was only about 30. But then she became a director, and she started getting commission checks, and her side hustle money far outweighed her salary. So this is what was happening. She wasn't getting. He didn't mind when the money that she was making was little, but when the money started getting big, then he wanted to insist that the money should go into the common pot. I think I totally agree with you. Something needs to be done about that situation with the common pot.
I think what I would really like to say is that in any relationship or in any marriage, it should be viewed as a long distance race. Just don't look at it now and the situation now and think that's what it's gonna be. Situation will change down the road. Right. So fair is fair at whatever point or time in the relationship.
Oh, I like that. Fair is fair. Yes,
no,
fair is fair. But who determines what's fair?
You sit down and agree on it.
Right. Okay.
You sit down and agree on it, but the only thing I know is that, again, this is a very touchy subject matter in relationships, and there's no best formula for it. Each situation will be determined by the individuals involved. Some people, you keep your check, I keep my check. And some people, let's put it together and put it in a common kitty, and whichever works for you best. But the only thing I'll tell you is that the situations don't remain the same. It may change, so try to be fair.
The tables turn. Sometimes the tables turn, and when the tables turn, the person who's been dishing it may not be willing to take it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our topic. Strangely enough, we have a lot of points that we agree on, and one of the points is that yes, I love what my husband just said. Fair is fair. Fair is fair for everybody. So we have to determine what's fair. What you would not like them to do to you, don't do to your partner. And that kind of situation, something needed to have been done before the side hustle. And I keep saying side hustle.
Yes,
Let me say the side business took off. But since it wasn't, let's agree that it was wrong from the start. Okay, so we'll see you again next time when we start talking about a topic from he said, she said. See you.